Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the Flatout Racing Network Pro Truck Challenge from the Charlotte Roval as we get ready for 4 races here this evening, 2 heat races, 1 B main, 1 A main, as it's a standing start, and we are already underway here in the first heat race. Seth Cole alongside of Carlos Zimmerman. And Carlos, right now we got 13 drivers that are in tonight's field. And a lot of things these drivers are going to have to worry about. Most importantly, this Charlotte Roval road course.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Seth. This course, it can eat you alive sometimes if you're not too careful. But these guys, when we were watching them in practice, seems like they got a good handle of it as Tellier got a bit off the track there, you see in your screen. They were able to get a good handle of it in practice, so I'm expecting them to run really well and, utilize the corners very well. So we'll see how that pans out tonight as Tyler Riggs is off to a great start.
Tyler Riggs got the pole position for this first heat. Right now, he leads Vic Bloom in the 99, then Joshua Personette, who's in a pretty good battle here with Mike Tellier, who just got around him for the position going into turn 8. That moves Matthew Rodriguez now battling for the 4th position with Personette, and Eric Stamp in the 53 is the last truck in this heat race. We'll have 7 other drivers in the second heat race. Everybody's going to make the main event, but pretty much what this is doing, these heat races are determining where everyone's going to start in the B main. Then the B main race gets inverted for the A main starting grid.
That's right. So for those guys that'll end up in the B main, it's going to be very interesting how they run that B main. If it's going to be inverted, in a rare case, you want to be running at the back if you want to be starting up front of the A main. But with this, how these trucks run, I don't think it really matters where you start. It's going to matter definitely where you finish.
Yeah, we saw Tyler Riggs was on the point. He got the lead taken away from him by Vic Bloom, and now Riggs is going to fall to second as Mike Tellier is going to get around. I think Riggs might have actually had an issue there going into turn 16.
Yeah, no, that was definitely an issue on the, trying to find his number, the 26 of Riggs, and he's going to find himself falling all the way back to last of this group. You could put a blanket over the back 5, and Vic Bloom has opened up quite the lead over the pack.
Yeah, definitely has. A lot of drivers had some issues there from turn 14 into turn 17. And that's another thing, too. You mentioned you could throw a blanket over the second back through 6th. Well, the lap times in practice were really close, too. A couple of drivers were in the 139s, but it was about 139 to 141 for most of the field. So very similar lap times.
Now, one thing that these drivers were told in the driver meeting, you got to be careful about, wall riding and such like that. That could be grounds for parking pending iRacing officials, but so these guys got to be careful about that. And also the cutting corners as well. Not so much that they'll get penalized by iRacing officials, but by the system itself for penalties and such like that. So a lot of things these drivers need to watch out for tonight.
Yeah, there's only one place that I know of where you can kind of cut the course, and it is allowed, as Joshua Personette, watch him take the chicane there. That is working the hands in that number 18. The only place where they are actually allowed to cut the course is they're able to go down on the apron here through NASCAR 3 and 4, should they so choose, but pretty much everybody said you actually lose time if you're down there on the apron.
Looks like Vic Bloom's going to be coming around here. This is a 3-lap heat, so I'm not sure if this is the checkered flag or the white flag lap.
This is the white flag lap here for Vic Bloom.
Mike Tellier running in second. Good run for him. He put down some pretty good laps in practice as well. And Eric Stamp has a good rebounding run. He was last for a little while, but finds himself in third with Riggs and Rodriguez right behind him.
Yeah, Riggs has not really been able to recover after the issue he had there back on the end of the first lap after losing the lead. Oh my goodness, Matthew Rodriguez up and into the air off the rumble strips as he's trying to take the 5th position away from Eric Stamp. This is really the best battle back here, 4th back to 6th, as the top 3 have gapped not only these guys back here, but also gapped themselves.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the guys just starting to spread out now. Seeing that it's the end of the heat, this is where you're probably going to end up finishing. Take it easy and then save your stuff for the B main or the A main. But speaking of which, right now, Vic Bloom well in control of the heat, and he'll bring it down to take the win.
That means that Vic Bloom, when he eventually brings it through the chicane here and then through what would be NASCAR's turns 3 and 4, he'll be the pole sitter for the B main event. 3 laps here in the heat races. It's a 5-lap B main and then 10 laps for the A main event. These drivers all out there, basically for the most part, racing for top 3 finishes in that A main. Purse is paid out for the top 4 finishers. Fourth place only gets $1, but hey, it's still more than what you come in with.
Oh, it's money is money, as Vic Bloom will bring it around here, and he will take the win here in heat number 1.
Not too far ahead of Mike Tellier, who was starting to close in there on that last lap. Personette's going to finish 3rd. Tyler Riggs rebounds to 4th. Eric Stamp will cross in 5th. And Matthew Rodriguez will be 6th. But again, that just determines where these guys are going to be in the B main. We still have one more heat. And on the pole for this one, maybe the guy that came in with the most confidence in this race, and I'm saying that sarcastically, Sam Dyer in the 35.
Yeah, our colleague Sam Dyer, he was telling us earlier on, he told me and Seth that he's going to show us tonight why he doesn't drive and why he likes to be up in the broadcast booth. So, but for him to be on the pole here, if he could make a little bit of a gap at the start, he could be sitting pretty for the B main.
He was at the top of the board in practice at one point, and then he fell down to around 11th. But we won't talk about that part. It's going to be Sam Dyer, Bronson Stafford, Jacob Grant, Caleb Smith, and Robert Kenny here in this heat. As they all are on track, we're just waiting until the official gives them their standing start here. And green is in the air. Here we go.
Sam Dyer, a little bit of a slow start as Stafford off to a little bit of a better start on the outside. And just like that, Dyer's going backwards.
And they're almost 3 wide
here. We got turned!
He's going to get spun all the way around, and he's up in the air.
And on the wall.
Can he get that car off the wall or that truck off the wall?
Nope, he couldn't.
Wow.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Just like a broadcaster does anything to get some TV time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. But because of that happening, Bronson Stafford's been able to put a decent gap on second place Jacob Grant with Kenny in 3rd and Caleb Smith rolling off in 4th position. So tough break for Dyer. Oh man, you gotta hate it for him.
Well, that means he's probably going to be starting at the back for the B main, which means if he finishes at the back in the B main, he'd be the pole sitter for the A main, which I know is absolutely his strategy, but battle right now, closest battle looks like it will probably be for the 3rd position between Robert Kenny and Caleb Smith. About maybe 1.1 second separation there, as you can see up ahead. Bronson Stafford with a huge gap back to Jacob Grant, and then a huge gap back to Robert Kenny, so unless something drastically happens here in these final 1.5 laps, this is pretty much the way they're going to finish this heat.
Yeah, Jacob Grant trying to do what he can to maybe try and run down Stafford. Stafford's lead is just too much, but the gap between Kenny and Smith is closing a little bit, so the battle for 3rd could be on here coming down to the end of this heat.
It's now less than a second, and you have to wonder just how much damage Kenny got after he got into Sam Dyer. I think the car that clobbered him, however, was the 25 of Caleb Smith. So both these drivers probably dealing with some front-end damage right now. But these trucks are pretty durable.
No, yeah, these trucks compared to, the NASCAR machines, they are very durable. If you hit Dyer like that in a NASCAR, your car's destroyed. But these trucks are made with a lot more durability, and, aero isn't as much big of a deal because how bulky those cars are, as Smith drove off the track. These trucks obviously drive a lot different from NASCAR trucks, but so that's why the damage may not be as effective as it would be if you were driving a NASCAR truck.
And that's why the drivers are kind of given a warning about wall riding from over in turn 8, exiting the chicane in turn 12, and out of the exit of the second chicane over in turn 17. Because of just how durable the trucks are, you can use the wall to straighten your truck out, take the corner a little bit faster than you normally would, and pretty much not really suffer that much damage as a result. As Bronson Stafford through the chicane, ooh, gracious, slid it there, and that gap, it's closing a lot. It's less than 2 seconds now between Stafford and Grant.
They were in the same picture there going there through the chicane, so Grant's got still some good speed under that machine there, the number 5 Carolina Wrangler truck. As Stafford, yeah, they're in the same picture as Stafford in his Canada truck. He's going to come down and he'll take the white flag here. It's going to be a very interesting last lap here in this heat.
We'll see if Grant can close up about an 0.8 of a second gap. I mean, he gained, about 1.1 seconds on that last lap, so he's within striking distance here.
He's there.
Question is, where does he try and make his move? I mean, there's a lot of different areas where drivers utilize a passing zone. Turn 8. Of course, you've got NASCAR turn 1 and 2, which is 9 and 10 here at the road course. You've also got that chicane down on the NASCAR back straightaway. So where does Grant make his move, if he chooses to make his move somewhere here in the first half of the course?
Sam Dyer has returned to the track. He's right around the guy who clobbered him. That might be something to watch out for, as Grant got a little bit loose there through that big hairpin.
And now Sam Dyer is a lap down, so he'll finish this race regardless of what happens in the 5th position.
Grant
Robert
hit the wall
Kenny.
there entering into turn 2, so he's going to lose a lot of ground now that he had gained on Stafford.
Got Robert Kenny scored the race leader. I'm not sure if maybe he might have cut the course or something, and that's why it's got him listed as the top driver, but I don't think he is the race leader.
He's coming right now to serve some sort of penalty as he's in the pits.
Yeah, they're saying that the race winner is Robert Kenny. Ignore the ticker there, because this is actually the battle we're looking at for the win here in the second heat between Stafford and Grant. And Grant lost some time there, especially through the second half of the course after the NASCAR turn 2. Looks like Bronson Stafford is going to come through the final chicane, and he's going to win the second heat. So it looks like it is going to be, whoa, it was close.
Yeah,
Stafford winning.
Grant gave him a shot there at the end of that.
Well, he was really able to attack 15, 16, and 17 a lot better than Stafford the last 2 laps. That might be something to watch for here in the main event. And now the ticker is correct as it shows Bronson Stafford the winner. So it's going to be Vic Bloom, the winner from Heat 1, Bronson Stafford, the winner from Heat 2. Those are the 2 that are going to be the front row here for our B main event. Tyler Riggs and Jacob Grant, 3rd and 4th. Eric Stamp, Caleb Smith, 5th and 6th. 7th and 8th will be Joshua Personette and Robert Kenny. Top 10 completed by Mike Tellier and Sam Dyer and Matthew Rodriguez, the last car in the field in 11th. Again, the field will be inverted from where they finish in this heat in the main event.
So yeah, again, you gotta beg the question, do these guys, quote unquote, do they sandbag and try to ride around the back? But if everyone does that, someone's got to win the B main. So I don't know if every driver has the mindset of that, or if they win the thing, if they're going to try really hard to win the thing because they may think that they got the car to win from the back.
And that's what's going to make things fun too in that regard. If we have guys that we know that have speed, like Vic Bloom, Bronson Stafford, if we see them be able to, as the green flag is out, if we see them finish 1st and 2nd in this, they're going to be starting 10th and 11th in the main event, having to fight their way up through the field.
Very good start for Vic Bloom as he wheel hopped it there through the corner of Stafford. Spin and a big crash. There's a car over the wall.
Someone just went over the wall. Was that Sam again? No, it wasn't Sam.
No, it was Robert Kenny.
My goodness.
Everybody else looks to get through clean, quote unquote clean.
And it looks like Robert Kenny is, because of that, scored the race leader. He's waiting for the field to come around and catch him before he keeps going.
Or he's behind those rumble strips there. There's the field coming around. Whoa!
Caleb Smith, Bronson Stafford, Mike Tellier, Jacob Grant, all leaning on each other.
Oh, you gotta love this track.
And here comes Grant to the inside of Caleb Smith. He'll pick up a position. Here comes Joshua Personette as well. There you see Kenny. He's back on the course. He gave up all of the track position that he gained from going over the wall. We are going to, when we have the warm-up here between the B main and the A main, we are going to go back and take a look at some of these highlights of stuff that have gone on to show you guys, because obviously a lot of it's replay worthy, but we got ourselves a heck of a battle for the lead right now between Vic Bloom and Tyler Riggs.
Riggs looks like he wants to try and use the outside line here at the Charlotte Roval to maybe make a move, because when he comes to that first turn on the front straightaway, it is the inside line. So Riggs is going to have an advantage here as they come to the stripe. Contact. But then, Vic, my goodness, drag race at the line, and Riggs lead the lap. Wow, what a battle.
Getting down now to a left-hander, which should give Vic Bloom possibly the advantage. Eric Stamp now up in the vicinity trying to make
He
it a
overdrove
three-truck
it.
fight.
Oh,
over
no!
the left one! Somebody
It
went
was,
over the left end.
I'm trying to find him. It was Tellier.
37. The 97. Yeah, you're right. It was Tellier in the 97, who I think is going to have to do the same thing, come to a stop, wait for the field to catch him. I don't know what it is with everybody getting launched over the wall there.
I don't know. Tellier's not stopping as he's currently on the NASCAR backstretch. As Riggs and Bloom continue to have a good battle. Bronson Stafford, the Canadian, looking to make a move here. Riggs. Oh, he's going to take it 3 wide here. Stafford way on the bottom of the track.
Right down to the yellow line. Let's see if the apron works for him. It's the shorter way around the track, but not necessarily where the speed is. He's going to make a door bang contact there with Vic Bloom, and here comes Riggs on the top side. Are we going 3 wide in the chicane? I'm going to cover my eyes. Let me know what happens.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Oh, Riggs took that corner actually surprisingly well, but the 5 gets right up to the back bumper, and out of all that, Bronson Stafford takes the lead.
And here comes everyone else. Tyler Riggs looks in his rearview mirror, and there's Grant, there's Stamp, there's Smith, there's Personette. I mean, you've got about 6 cars that are all up here within half a second of each other.
These guys running really hard right now, just trying to get all they can. Remember, the field's inverted for the A-main, so all these guys would start towards the back, which could make some good action in the A-main with all these really fast race trucks in the back. But right now, the person that's really happy, I would assume, would be Seth. You got to look at the back. Matt Rod and Dyer going at it.
Oh boy.
They're currently 2 in the back, so if it ends where it is now, they would be up in the front.
Right now, Robert Kenny is the last car on track, so he'd be your pole sitter for the B main right now.
Man, you can put a blanket under the top 7 right now.
You're right. They're all really, really close. Mike Tellier actually is back with the field now after he went over the wall. He's in the 8th position. Stafford, Vic Bloom have now gapped themselves back to this 3rd place battle, which finds Grant, Tyler Riggs, Eric Stamp, who's now going to move by Riggs, and now Riggs with a crossover. Caleb Smith right there as well, and the 18 of Joshua Personette.
Now this is where, when they got to the NASCAR portion of the racetrack, they started really battling really hard. So when they get down into the bus stop here, expect something to happen, especially between here, Riggs and Stamp. Although Riggs gapped him a little bit. Woo! Riggs kind of overdrove that.
Gracious,
So did Stafford.
Did you see the way that Smith wheel hopped over the curb, somehow kept it going? But you're right, Stafford is now in the middle 3 wide. He dropped from the lead all the way back to 6th.
Smith did just about all he could there to make up as many positions as he could through the bus stop. And because of all that, Vic Bloom has taken the lead here. Can't quite tell what lap we are on.
We are on 4 now. We got 2 to go at the line there that Vic Bloom just took. And you want to know something about Bronson Stafford, too? He just actually, with losing positions, improved his starting position for the B main. It's such a weird thing, weird concept to wrap my head around, but the losers of these battles are actually the winners when we get to the B main in terms of track position.
No, you're right. The further back you finish, the better you are in the A main. But you know, with how these trucks drive, I'm not necessarily sure. It doesn't matter really where you start, because these guys have been showing speed and then just getting the luck of the draw, I guess, with not getting involved in wrecks. So you got to consider that as factors, as well as Bloom continues to lead as just about everybody smacked the wall there as they were coming for turn 2.
On board with the 5 of Jacob Grant. Now remember, Grant finished 2nd in the 2nd heat race. Vic Bloom won the 1st heat race. So these two have not gone up against each other in racing competition yet up to this point. And remember, Grant was reeling in Bronson Stafford back in that 2nd heat race, and he's closing in big time here on Vic Bloom for the race lead.
We got a train of cars here heading to the bus stop here. That was Stamp, Smith, and Stafford, all just a train down the back straightaway. And Smith was the winner out of all that.
Going to drive away with the 3rd position, 3 wide behind Bronson Stafford. That's Riggs on the bottom, Personette up top. He crosses down in front of Riggs as they split the 53 of Stamp. Personette almost into the back of Stafford. That's a battle for the 4th position as the white flag has been displayed for Vic Bloom, who right now is enjoying about a 1.1 second gap between himself and Jacob Grant. Robert Kenny back there in the 11th position. You got Sam Dyer not too far ahead of him. I almost wonder if Sam's look at this. Sam's sandbagging. He's sandbagging so that way Kenny will pass him so he can have the pole.
Oh my goodness.
Look at this battle, the sandbag battle going on here for 10th and 11th. Oh my goodness. You take the pole. No, I'm taking the pole. Oh my goodness. Vic Bloom right now is going to start 11th for the A main with the way he's out in front, but he's got Grant trying to reel him in. Is prize money on the line for winning the B main, so that's why you're seeing them actually racing up here at the front and also not trying to sandbag. The guys at the back, though, they're trying to determine who's going to be the pole sitter for the A main event. Look at this, less than a truck length going through the chicane.
Whoa, Kenny and Dyer's still going at it back there.
It may have not quite got back to the throttle there on the exit of turn 12 as he's trying one last attempt at Vic Bloom down here into turn 15. He's within striking distance. It's just a matter of how hard he's going to try and take it.
He's going to dive bomb it, I think.
He's going to try and move Vic Bloom out of the way.
No.
Didn't quite get there. Boy, what an attempt as Vic Bloom's going to win the B main. Grant's going to bring it home second. Smith is going to get third, barely over Bronson Stafford. Joshua Personette's going to bring it home in 5th, but we're going to drop back here real quick to this sandbag battle continues between Sam Dyer and Robert. It's going to be a game of chicken at the line, I guarantee you. They're going to both be braking and trying to figure out who's going to cross first.
Dyer's in front right now. Kenny's going to put the bumper to him. I don't know what Kenny's trying to do here. What is Sam going to do here coming into the turn? Woo, brake checks him there. Kenny goes to the outside, took it wide, and Dyer wins.
Dyer figured it out. He figured out that he, being ahead of the 34, had to cross the line first, because whatever he did, Kenny was going to do the same. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's always fun.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, that was interesting, to say the least, but we're now going to get a word with Vic Bloom. We're also going to go back and try and find replays of stuff that went down while we're talking with him. So let's get Vic here real quickly. And I believe we've got him. Vic, I mean, crazy stuff going on there. Not only in the B main event, but also in your heat race. But you spent a good portion of both of those out in front. Now you're going to have to work your way from 11th all the way up through the field. How do you think you're going to be able to do through traffic?
I just got to not get wrecked. I mean, that's really been the goal, is to try to keep my nose as clean as I can and just not get wrecked. I mean, I didn't expect to win that last race. I thought for sure Riggs had it, but I don't know what happened to him.
I got to ask you, too, with the fact of that you spent a good portion of both of those heat races out in front, have you got an idea of, how to methodically work your way through the field with everybody else's different braking zones?
I mean, I just stick to mine. I didn't run into anybody in a braking zone yet, so I did in race 1 or in the heat, but that was just a stack up in turn 1. But otherwise, I've been pretty respectful of that, and I think everybody's been pretty respectful in the braking zones from what I could see.
Carlos, you got anything?
No, I don't got anything, Vic. Just good run for you. Let's see if you can translate it into a win in the A main.
Yeah, thanks.
So as these drivers are currently in warm-up, they've got about a little more than a minute to go before we eventually will be going green. And we're going to look here real quick at the replay of what happened to Sam Dyer back in the first heat race. Up into the air. Right rear tire gets caught up onto the wall, and that's why he had to teleport. Then we'll also look and see what happened to send the 34 of Robert Kenny up and over the wall. See if I can find it here.
I'm sorry. Oh, and they're doing warm up right now. Matt Rod's caught on the wall, both wheels, two sets of wheels on one side of the wall, two sets on the other. He's just teeter tottering. Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry.
It's
Go
only,
on, Seth.
it's only Matt Rod can do.
Oh no! Now Tellier did it too.
Here's what happened to Kenny. This was back at the start of the B main. This was going into turn one again, and oh, he got help from Matt Rod. Got sent over. He landed it, though. I'll give him a 10 on the landing. Holy cow. And then I think Tellier did the same thing. I don't think we got time to be able to go back and show that as they're actually getting ready to grid here for the B main, which is going to have, because of the inverted field, the car that we just looked at, Robert Kenny, on point.
I want to see how Robert Kenny does while driving at the front. We haven't really seen him up at the front, how he's going to compare with all the other guys who've been running up front all day. But those guys are going to be starting in the back, so that just shows you again how unique this inverted for the A main feature is going to be.
Right now, I'm looking in terms of the drivers that have really shown speed. Tyler Riggs may have the advantage at the moment as far as starting track position because he's going to be up there in fourth behind Kenny, Matthew Rodriguez, and Sam Dyer, the top three. Then Riggs, Mike Tellier fifth, Eric Stamp sixth, Joshua Person at seventh. Then Bronson Stafford, Caleb Smith, Jacob Grant, and our B main winner, Vic Bloom, all the way back from the 11th position. And the good news, I guess, that Vic Bloom has is it's a 10-lap main event. There is enough time to be able to methodically work your way by one car per lap here.
As there's the standing start, green flag in the air. Kenny off to just a decent start as Matt Rod will fall in line in second and Riggs in third as they head down into.
Matt Rod moved to driver's left to try and see if he could get an advantage on Kenny at the line. Oh, someone's over the wall.
Personette.
My goodness, and he's on his roof. Oh, no.
And he's in that no man's land area, so it's not like he's going to be able to move anywhere, so he's going to probably have to teleport back to the pits. Oh, my goodness.
And there are no cautions here in this main event race, so Personette's going to be on pit road and probably lose at least a lap, so he's effectively out. Look at this battle for the lead, though. Oh my gosh, we're 3 wide for second with Kenny, Rodriguez, and it was Tellier moving around both of them. Actually, that was Riggs, I'm sorry, in the 26 that was in the middle of that.
Flipped it.
And keeps it going, though. So he's got to keep going just in case something else happens.
Vic Bloom is around.
He's going to keep it going as well in the 99 machine that's up front. It's Matthew Rodriguez leading the way, but he's got Mike Tellier and Robert Kenny right behind him heading into the chicane.
Very weird to see the commish up in front right now.
My goodness.
Overdrove the corner there, so Tellier will take an advantage. Kenny took the short little way around to get around Matt Rod, and he'll fall in line in second.
Here comes Jacob Grant making a move on 2 drivers through the chicane. He got by both Bronson Stafford and Eric Stamp, moving from 6th up to 4th. As back up at the front, though, it looks like the best battle is going to be maybe for that second position, as it looks like Mike Tellier could be pulling away with this lead. Not so fast. Kenny's going to close in, and he's going to try and take the spot here at the line.
Kenny into 1 is clear into the lead for the moment. Matt Rod dove it in there, and wheel hopped it off the rumble strips there, but Kenny into the lead.
Grant there in 4th, Stafford in 5th, as Kenny back under fire from Tellier and Rodriguez. These 3 all literally nose to tail heading in through 3 and 4.
Tellier maybe trying to come up with something here to get up to the back bumper of the 34 as the 4th through 7th. They're not that far back either. Neither is Sam Dyer. He's going to try and close back in as well. Matt Rod thought he was going to make a move on Tellier there. Tellier makes the move.
They're going to drive it in deep going into 7. Looks like Kenny may have gotten the wall off that corner. It allows Rodriguez to take the second position, drop Kenny back to 3rd. Looks like Joshua Personette's still on pit road.
It just may look like Personette will just call it quits there. Tough break for him.
Vic Bloom mentioned about his early spin. The guy that won the B main had to start the A main from dead last. He's only worked his way up past Tyler Riggs, who was upside down over in turn 7, but continued on. And Personette, who of course flipped up over the wall there on first turn, first lap of this A main event.
Seth,
Right
we got
now in
quite a
that
battle
ninth
for the
position.
lead. I hate to interrupt you. We got quite the battle for the lead. 5 cars.
We had Talladega. I'm looking at him through 3 and 4, and I'm thinking, this has to be Talladega. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Matt Rod really pushed Kenny through that corner, and he was gone for a minute.
Oh, no,
Kenny! Big one!
Oh no, they killed Kenny.
But everyone kept it going.
And Kenny's got no front end, but the thing is still running.
Huh.
Well, that looked like Personette's coming back out after losing, I think, now 2 laps to the race leader, which is now Mike Tellier. Bronson Stafford now in second, our second heat race winner. And the guy that finished second behind him, Jacob Grant, now up into the 3rd spot. But I'm looking back here at Caleb Smith, Matthew Rodriguez, Eric Stamp. I don't think they're out of it yet.
No, you can put, again, I've been using this a lot. You can put, well, you could for a minute put a blanket over the top 7, because they're all within striking range. And with how these guys have been racing today, Stamp could end up with the lead when they come back around.
Stafford right now hunting Mike Tellier for the top position. We're only on the 3rd lap of this race. There's still about 7.5 laps to go, and all this chaos has been happening so far as Stafford going to jump up to driver's right to try and make a move down here to the chicane. Little contact going in.
He's going to have advantage there, but I think Tellier may have overdrove it a little bit as he spins it out.
Spin it around there. He turns it back the correct direction, but not before dropping all the way back to 6th, maybe even 7th, as Sam Dyer's going to try and pass him. Couldn't quite, so it will be Tellier back to 6th, and now Grant's going to get pushed to the lead. Help from Caleb Smith.
Where did he come from, Smith? Oh, you got to be careful there.
It's one of the tougher areas. You have to be methodical and precise going through the corner. Look at Stafford. Splits up the middle. Gracious.
Wow.
Got a huge run there out of turn 17 on the front straightaway and is going to swing around the outside to take the lead from Caleb Smith.
Now, that's threading the needle. If that isn't threading the needle, then I don't know why I'm in here. That's an incredible move by Stafford. He's got a little bit of front-end damage here, but like we said earlier, damage not really going to kill you. I mean, unless you're the case of Robert Kenny, as there was contact between Grant and Smith there. Robert Kenny's car right now looking like what Richard Petty's did in the 1992 Hooters 500. So if it's not significant damage, you should be okay.
I don't think that these trucks are even built for aerodynamics, so you don't really even have to worry about it being aerodynamically sound for good straightaway speed down there on the NASCAR back straight or anything like that. You just have the thing have to have the thing be running up to full speed. That's all you need.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. And right now at full speed right now is Bronson Stafford, who's been able to put up a little bit of a gap between him and Jacob Grant. But look at it, Caleb Smith and Eric Stamp now all within striking distance of the leaders. They head down into the bus stop.
Oh, Grant's going to nearly spin it. Oh, Bronson spun it as well. Right in front of Jacob Grant and Caleb Smith, who now moved to 1st and 2nd because of that. Stafford now all the way back to the 6th position.
It's monkey see, monkey do. It happened to, who was it, Tellier, who fell all the way from the lead to 6th, and now it's Stafford all the way from 1st to 6th.
It's just showing, too, that nobody is safe, because those are 2 drivers that have done it from the lead so far in this main event.
Now, the thing is, Grant put the bumper there to Stafford, which, it is legal. Robbins racing, that old saying. But Grant makes a big move, and it paid off as he's got the lead. But Caleb Smith is coming.
I will tell you, we were on board when they went to the chicane with the Caleb Smith machine. He was into the back of Grant, who was into the back of Stafford. I mean, they were all bumping into each other, so kind of a chain reaction there. As this battle here you mentioned for 3rd place, getting a little bit hot and heavy with Stamp, Rodriguez, and now Mike Tellier has worked his way back up. He's only about 3.5 seconds behind the race leader. He's still got a shot to get back up to the front.
Oh, he ran Matt Rod really hard there, heading into the big hairpin, heading onto the NASCAR turn 2. So Matt Rod going to not pay dividends to that, but here he comes again as Tellier got the wall heading into turn 2.
And the rule as far as the racing here today is race how you want to be raced. So if someone gets into somebody, they can expect some retaliation possibly. As right now, Grant enjoying about a 2nd lead back to Caleb Smith. Then it's another 1.5 seconds when you get back to Eric Stamp. And right now, I think the fastest car on the track is that 97 of Mike Tellier, who was the only driver last time by that ran a lap time in the 141s.
Tellier's got a good setup under that car today, so he's hoping that it'll turn into something big for him. He's currently in the $1 spot right now. Mike Tellier in fourth with Stamp third. Smith trying to run down Jacob Grant, but Grant's, man, he's got a great truck right now up in that lead.
He's really good, especially through the chicane areas, it seems. Over in turn 11, and then right here on the front straightaway, turn 15. That's where he seems to be able to attack it a lot deeper than anybody else, and he's able to get back to the throttle a lot sooner than anybody else. That's where we saw him make up a lot of time when he was back in the second heat race, battling with Bronson Stafford.
Speaking of Bronson Stafford, he just got around Matthew Rodriguez for what I believe is the 5th position. Drove it a little bit hard through that first hairpin, but he's worked his way up to 5th. You know, we say Grant's got a good lead, but just about everybody else is within striking distance. With the braking zones on this track and the mistakes that these drivers have been making with 5 laps to go, probably 4.5 now, you could lose the lead just like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw when Mike Tellier spun over there in the chicane, and same for Bronson Stafford. From the lead, they dropped back to around the 6th position. So, you know, that can still happen to Jacob Grant, who right now, the gap between himself and the car, we're looking at Vic Bloom, who started shotgun here in the A main event, has worked his way up to 7th. The gap is only 8 seconds. I mean, that's easily, you can easily make that up if you end up having someone up ahead of you run into trouble and spin out.
It's just a matter of hitting your marks. Grant's doing a good job of that so far. Really good through that bus stop. Probably one of the cleanest runs I've seen through the bus stop today. And it's probably because he's in, like, you know, quote-unquote clean air. He's got nobody around him to mess with him, and that's why he's able to hit his marks and do well, and that's why he's got the lead right now.
Not necessarily sure it's clean air that helps, but it's the fact you don't have anyone pressuring you, so you're able to hit your braking zones the way that you want to, rather than if you're racing with somebody having to change up your line and maybe run defensively, taking an entry into a corner that you might not necessarily be comfortable with.
Stamp's closed in here on the back bumper of Smith, so it could be a battle on here for second as they head down into the first few corners.
Yeah, he was amazing through 14 through 17. He had Mike Tellier on his back bumper for third, and then he gapped Tellier, and as you said, closes in here on the 8 of Caleb Smith. He's going to make a move for the lead here, or not for the lead, I'm sorry, for the second position going down to turn 5.
He's going to have that advantage being on the inside line here to get around Smith. Smith driving it hard up the hill. Smith will have the advantage down here into this first hairpin onto the NASCAR turn 2, and he will maintain second place coming off the corner.
Was the 53 of Stamp to have to run wide there going through 7 and 8. I almost thought if that might bring Mike Tellier back into the conversation. It actually kind of does. It looks like second, third, and fourth are going to be almost nose to tail when we get down here to the chicane.
Ooh, a bump there entering onto the NASCAR back straightaway as, oh my goodness, this is going to be very interesting into the bus stop. Oh, but looked like Stamp really had to get on the brakes early, and he wasn't able to make move. Now makes the move as Smith took that corner a bit wide.
I think what Stamp did was he kind of made sure that he was slow on entry to be able to get back to the throttle sooner. Contact between himself and Smith as they were almost hooked around for second place, and that brings Tellier into the mix. Where's Tellier going to go with his momentum?
Right to the back bumper of Smith to push past the 53. I know they're not really drafting right now, but man, he gave him a nice little shove there to Smith, but out of all that, they all run the same as they were last time they came around, as we got 3 laps to go, and Grant's lead is just growing because of this battle.
Definitely is. It's almost 5 seconds now from Grant back to this 3-way battle for second place. So unless Grant runs into a mistake, I don't see how these guys are going to be able to catch him, as they all are basically, at the moment, focused on each other for the runner-up spot.
Tellier really bullied the 53 of Stamper into that corner. He'll have the advantage down the short chute. Contact as Tellier should take third here, and he will.
He will indeed move into that third position. Bronson Stafford also spun from the lead like Tellier did earlier on, now up to 5th, trying to take the 4th position away from Stamp. And just behind him, a driver that is a lap down, is not in the hunt for this win, but trying to at least finish out this race. 11th place running Joshua Personette. A couple of guys that we really haven't heard from since the drop of the green flag that run into early issues include Tyler Riggs. He's still back here. He's in the 9th position. And Robert Kenny, who Somehow, with that front end completely gone and the entire interior of the engine exposed, is still on the lead lap and in that 7th position. He's got Matthew Rodriguez trying to reel him in for that spot now.
Matt Rod was up there with the leaders in the top 5, so something must have happened to him, and that's what caused him to fall all the way further back. Meanwhile, Tellier trying to get an advantage again on Caleb Smith here. He'll have the advantage through this first half of the final few corners, but he won't on the exit of it, and Smith will maintain the lead. Contact as he's getting into the wall, and Bronson Stafford will pounce on it as well.
Eric Stamp going to move to the inside. Stafford moves to the inside. Personette not for position also goes around, so that's 3 trucks that all got around Tellier. Is Tellier going to put Personette into the wall there going into turn 1 and 2?
I think he was probably wondering, like, man, why the heck are you up here? You're not battling for these 5 spots here. As Vic Bloom's also caught these guys now.
Bloom trying to work his way up there after early issues. Started back. Wide. Oh, we are. Oh, gracious. Oh, contact. Oh, they saved it. I don't know how.
Oh, look at this. Wow. Stafford, man, he really put the bumper to Stamper there. Oh, my goodness, look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course, this is all happening behind the leader, but my goodness.
Oh, look at Vic Bloom drive it in deep as he's going to make a move on Caleb Smith. That's for position. That's for a spot inside of the top 5. You know what these guys are all doing? These guys are all racing for that $5 3rd place.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. As Stamp's in that spot right now, Stafford wants it. So does Bloom. Smith fell all the way back to 6th. Whoa! Wow, how did he keep that truck straight?
I'm not sure, but he lost a lot of momentum as a result. There goes Stafford. There goes Bloom. Here comes Smith trying to now take away the 5th position as Stafford now moves into the 3rd spot. Currently, Vic Bloom right now in the last payout position in the 4th spot. Nice rebound for him after starting shotgun here in this. I think he spun over in turn 8. Was able to battle back and trying to move up into the podium here.
White flag in the air right now as Tellier will bring it around in 2nd. All this happening behind the leader, Jacob Grant, just needs to hit his marks and he'll get that nice payout.
You know that old saying, twice a bridesmaid, never a bride? I think Jacob Grant is turning that around because he finished 2nd in his heat race to Bronson Stafford. He finished 2nd in the B main race to Vic Bloom, and he's going to take the checkers here in the event that it's most important, the A main event.
Barring he doesn't make a mistake here through
you just jinxed him, didn't I?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. The NASCAR portion of this track, he's drove it really well today. So the only place I see him making a mistake is in the bus stop.
Yeah, well, I would actually counter that because that's where he's been the best at today. That's why he's out in front right now, because he's been able to attack those heavy braking zone areas like the 2 chicanes on the back and front straightaway.
He's on the back straightaway right now. He comes down into the bus stop here on the brakes.
We got a battle for 2nd brewing here as well that we're going to have to keep an eye on while we're watching Jacob Grant come to this checkered flag, because Stafford has reeled in Mike Tellier going into turn 11.
So Grant well in control. He'll get the payout as he'll come down and he'll take the checkered flag momentarily. Tellier gaps Stafford there. So he may be settled in the 2nd.
Vic Bloom just got around Eric Stamp for 4th as Grant comes down into 15, 16, and 17 to head for the checkered flag. He is going to win the Flatout Racing Network Pro Truck Challenge here tonight at the Charlotte Roval. Tellier and Stafford.
Couldn't do
Tellier's
it.
going to hang on. Bloom going to cross in 4th. And it was close. It was close between Smith and Stamp, who I think Stamp may have messed up the corner. And Smith got around him for 5th.
How about Robert Kenny just wheeling it out there with no front end at all? He's going to end up 7th out of all that and then take the ramp. Ah, my goodness. These guys having a lot of fun. Putting on a good show for everybody.
Sam Dyer. We're still waiting for him. Still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. It's 2021, Sam. Come on. Cross the line. There you go. He's going to get the 8th position. Actually, no, he's going to get... yes, he is going to get 8th.
Yes, he's going to get 8th.
Tyler Riggs going to bring it here to the line in 9th. Looks like Matthew Rodriguez did not make it back to the flag, and he'll finish in the 10th position. It looks like Jacob Grant has already taken his truck to victory lane. There's oil all over the track as Mike Tellier. Oh, well, Sam, you got to learn how to intent wreck people. Come on, man. Looks as bad as I was trying to intent wreck people in Madhouse last night. Good grief. Here's the results from the chaos. Jacob Grant, who, as mentioned, finished second in his heat race, second in the B main, finishes P1 here in the A main. He's going to bring home the purse, though. Mike Tellier battles back, Bronson Stafford as well, after they both spun from the lead to finish second and third. And Vic Bloom, who had to start this race from shotgun after winning the B main, he's going to finish in the final payout position in fourth place. And let's see if we can get some of our top three finishers here. So let's start things off with Bronson Stafford. And we've got third place finisher Bronson Stafford here. And Bronson, I mean, first off, you spun from the lead, had to battle back. So, I mean, if you had been able to not have that little mistake there, you think that you would have been able to gap them? Because it looked like you had a pretty good advantage before you spun over in the chicane.
Yeah, in the B and A, I just got turned in the first chicane both times, and unfortunately, that's what it is. Makes the braking zone a little bit. It's a big kick out on them. You just kind of get turned and get back up, but I'll take it. It was fun.
We saw a lot of the side-by-side battling, really close proximity, a lot of contact being made. Was that how you had to make passes, kind of muscle the other driver out of the way?
Not really. Honestly, it's just if you were quicker, you could get by with the draft and don't break them. But it's obvious trucks are so durable, you can kind of use that to your advantage and just kind of, muscle your way through and maybe slow them up in the same time. So it's probably the easiest way, but you didn't have to do it that way. But it was definitely the easiest and quickest.
Carlos, you got anything?
I just want to say it was a really good rebound for you, Bronson. I know this was a fun race and everything, but is there anybody you want to shout out, just for how you performed tonight in this, just a fun race, no points on the line exhibition?
Oh, yeah, it was just a fun race, but I've got to shout you guys for broadcasting what was probably entertaining in some way, something to do on a Wednesday night. NASCAR got canceled, so not something to do. And obviously, Matt throwing this together, putting his own money on the line and stuff like that. These things. I think it would be cool with bigger numbers and some things like that, or just things to look forward going if we do like this. But it was just fun, so just generally everyone involved in it happened.
Well, it was a blast for us to watch up here in the booth. Incredible racing all the way through the field, and a lot of close battles there as well, with a lot of drivers involved. But congrats on a third place run. It was a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, thanks.
And we've got Mike Tellier here, who finished in the second position. And first off, Mike, I just want to go back real quick to the B main. You're not supposed to jump over the wall there in turn one.
Oh, is that not the fast line around there?
Well, it is, but I don't think it's legal.
Yeah, I guess I just lost control, coming at a one, slid the tires, and hooked myself over the wall, didn't I?
Yeah, well, you landed it though. I give you style points for that. But let's go fast forward to the A main though, because we saw a lot of drivers, yourself included, up at the front even have issues here with this racetrack. I mean, what was it that caused such a lack of rear grip, it seemed, going into that chicane?
Tires locking up, sliding through, lack of experience. Not sure. Lack of skill.
I mean, obviously, this is a very unique combination with the Charlotte Roval and these pro trucks. But from the driver's standpoint of view, I mean, what were some of the more challenging things that you had to deal with?
Just, like you said, trying to slow it down into corners, getting it to rotate so you can get back on the throttle. It took a long time to get up to speed. The start was also key, it seemed, but then, of course, the race went on and it didn't matter. Everyone was wrecking everyone. It was fun, though.
Now, Mike, you were one of the couple of drivers in that A main that had to battle back from getting wrecked out in the lead and then falling all the way back. What was going through your mind having to just work your way back through the pack to get up to the second place spot where you finished?
I just had to calm myself, and then I noticed I think it was Eric Stamp was slowing everyone up, and I was like, "That's it! I'm gonna make a hole and go for it." And I just happened to catch him before we got back onto the oval.
Well, Mike, obviously, a great run for you here tonight. You ran up towards the front at the beginning. You had to fight your way up there to the front again here, finishing in the second position. But anybody want to shout out?
Not particularly. My kids. That's about it. It's I guess FRN for holding the event. It's my first time around here. It was great. I'd definitely be back if they invited me.
That's Mike Tellier. He brings it home P2 here tonight in the FRN Truck Challenge here at the Charlotte Roval. Congrats on a great run, great performance, and a great fight back up through the field.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. And like I said, if I ever get an invite back, I'd gladly come.
And let's see if we can now get a word with our race winner here, Jacob Grant. And I believe we've got down in victory lane. And Jacob, I mean, you came up just short in your heat race, just short there in the B main. Was it at that point you thought, you know what? Heck with this. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to win this A main. Nobody's going to stop me.
Yeah, at first I didn't know what to expect going into that first heat race. I definitely felt a lot slower than all these guys in here. I didn't put down too many practice laps here, so it surprised me that I actually ran that well. And then to finish second, I wanted to get that win in the B main, came up short, and then so I decided to push it really hard there at the A main.
One of the places where I noticed not only in the A main, but also in your heat race and in the B main when you were trying to close in on the race leaders at the time, Stafford in the heat race and Bloom in the B main, was you were really good in approaching the two chicane areas on the back straightaway and the front straightaway. You were able to attack, go deeper in with more speed, and get back to the throttle sooner. I mean, what kind of an adjustment do you think you had as opposed to drivers that were around you that allowed you to have so much speed in those two particular places of the track?
Um, the old saying, slow in, fast out. I felt like I was trying to utilize that. I definitely felt like I was going in a lot slower and coming out a lot faster than everybody else. I don't know how it looked up there to you guys in the booth, but it definitely felt like I was slow getting into the corners, but I was definitely trying to get out. I was trying to give my high five racing teammate Caleb Smith back there finished in fifth place some tips to try to stay in second, but it just didn't work out. He got in a battle with Eric Stamp, and then those two ended up losing the positions to Mike and Bronson.
Now, Jacob, so the main event pot, if you will, for the winning the whole thing was $25. Any idea what you're gonna do with your winnings?
Probably just get some iRacing credits and get some more tracks.
Well, obviously, a great run for you here tonight, taking the checkered flag in the A main. I know that you would have loved to have swept it all, get the win in your heat, get the win in the B main, get the win in the A main. But as Carlos alluded to, you get that $25 purse here for winning the main event. And anybody you want to shout out?
If shout out Racing High Five on Instagram. If you can go give them a follow. I also make paint schemes for iRacing. You can follow me on Instagram as well at King Grant Paints, and that's King Grant Paints. So,
All right, that's Jacob Grant. He brings it home P1 here tonight in the FRM Pro Truck Challenge. A heck of a drive. Congratulations. Go enjoy your win.
appreciate it. Thank you.
And I'm just going to bring this guy up here real quick just because he's the one that put this whole thing together. Matt, I'm trying to come up with a couple of adjectives here for what I'm thinking you are, and I'm kind of fluctuating between genius and madman because, amazing.
My first question is, did you see me try to kill the field in the B main?
Yes.
And then did you see me try to kill the field in the A main?
Yes.
KK, we need to delete that video. It does not look good.
Oh, but man, I mean, this was such a unique combination with the pro trucks here at a road course. But to be perfectly honest, I've seen that the way pro trucks handle at dirt tracks and such. And this looked very similar to me in the way that you'd have to kind of approach the entry to the corner, the way that you had to approach the exit of the corner, the slipping and sliding around, the lack of grip. So I mean, this definitely looked like a great idea. And the thing I loved the most, and I don't know if you were planning for this, but the thing I loved the most was you had groups of 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers all up in the same vicinity as each other.
See, that's the thing. We kind of planned for it with the speed and the power of the cars. I mean, when you're driving one of these things around a test track alone, they are the most boring cars known to man. They are slow, they're hefty, they're huge, they're awful. But when you get these things in a pack, I mean, and you get the proper setup in them, I mean, here's the thing. They have no power. They can't escape each other. It's side-by-side racing. These things do take some skill to drive. So, I mean, it kind of plays out in the good racing.
I also want to ask you, how does somebody in 2 laps go from battling for the second position back to 10th place?
So let me tell you, first of all, in that last kerfuffle, I was in third. I was plotting my chance to get back into the lead. I had like a straight shot. And then for some reason, Mike and Kenny just decided to off themselves. They killed Kenny and he flipped over and that took us all out. He hit the front of my truck, and at that point it was a snowplow status. So I had no speed down the straights, but I still was great in the corners. So I was outrunning him in the corners, but we get to the back straight where it's supposed to be our huge draft section where we could really make up time. And it was, I've got no speed. They're pulling away. I can't do anything. So that kind of sunk it. And then I remember I spun in the last lap, and I decided to try and finish the last lap in reverse, to which myself and Riggs had a little bit of contact, and I went space shuttle status and flew into the infield. So that went well.
Going out with style, as only Matt Rudd can do. I got to tell you, Matt, if we end up getting like a little bit extra money, we got to get ourselves a soundboard, because when, as you mentioned, Kenny got wrecked there on the front straightaway, I wanted to play the Kill Kenny South Park clip.
Copyrighted, but I'm fairly certain we have some stuff laying around the bank. I think we can do a soundboard.
Well, I mean, obviously, Matt, it was a blast for us to call up here. We were laughing our full heads off at a lot of the stuff that was going out there on the track, and I know that was
Sam was getting hurt every time you'd make a comment about him.
Was he watching?
Yes, he was watching.
Oh no, he knows I called him out for not being able to win 10 wreck people. Oh well. But I mean, I know you were putting this whole thing on for having fun and everything. I mean, obviously, I think this probably met its goal, but we're just gonna turn the mic over to you and let you do some shout outs here or anything you want to say. I
mean, as always, great thanks to the whole FRN crew, both the admin staff, Sam Dyer, and what was the name of the other guy? Right, Seth Cole, and all the commentators.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, all the commentators that hang out with us and make this sorry dream a reality. Sorry, Carlos Zimmerman. I keep forgetting you're not Chris Dollarton. That's your alter ego.
Yes.
And just being able to get a bunch of people together and do something this stupid. Hopefully maybe next month we can find some extra money in the couch cushions where we can do something stupid again.
Well, obviously, I mean, I think that this ticked all the boxes in terms of what it needed to accomplish. It was definitely it really was a fun event, not only for the racers but also for commentators and hopefully for spectators too that watched tonight's event. I mean, hopefully they enjoyed what they saw, because there wasn't a dull moment out there on the track. We saw trucks flipping up over the walls. We saw 3-wide racing, which at a Charlotte Roval kind of makes your heart goes into your throat, but somehow a lot of times they made it through it. But thanks, Matt, for putting this event on, and thanks for having Carlos and me here to be able to call it as well.
Well, thanks for staying up past your bedtime. It just shocked me of how much these cars would just come. 3 cars on the front of the pack, and you'd have the next pack of cars be about 1.5 seconds back, and you guys get to battling, and next thing you know, hey, I've got a 5-car pack up here battling. Like, what in the world went on? So, thank you very much for pulling me.
Hey, not a problem. Appreciate you putting this event on, and job well done.
Oh, many thanks.
All right, so people may think that this was a somewhat unprofessional type broadcast, but again, the whole thing that this was oriented around was it was a fun event. It was supposed to be a laid back type of situation, not only for the racers but for the commentators as well. And I don't know about you, Carlos, but I had a blast.
It was a lot of fun, honestly, Seth. Just to watch how these guys just wheel it around in these pro trucks. Yeah, it's supposed to be a fun atmosphere and stuff like that. It's a little bit different from what we normally do here at the Flatout Racing Network, but we were very glad to be able to put it on for you guys. And again, a great run for Jacob Grant in getting the win tonight. But real quick, Seth, if you'll allow me, we talked about how this is a fun broadcast. We got 3 days in a row of serious quote unquote. Well, yeah, basically our professional broadcasts, if you will. The next 3 days, we got some good races happening in the FRN network.
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, tomorrow night, the season is drawing to a close over in the Fuel Racetrack Designs IndyCar Series. And right now, it's looking like, is anybody going to be able to challenge Nicholas Johnston? There are a couple of drivers that are making some late charges, but if Johnston keeps his consistency up, he may have this championship in hand. But the season's not over yet, so we got to wait and see what happens there.
They'll be at the Milwaukee Mile tomorrow for round 12 of 14 in that series. And then the next 2 days, a couple of new series that we just brought on to the family of Flatout Racing Network. The Rapid Fire Pizza National Series, race 12 of 33. They're going to be at the road course of Mid-Ohio. That's coming up on Thursday. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. Today's Wednesday. That's on Friday, May 29th at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. And then on Saturday, you got the Soda Guys Cup Series, I guess the counterpart to the Rapid Fire Pizza Series. They will be over at Kansas. That's on Saturday at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Of course, going to be here on the Flatout Racing Network.
I mean, I've run Mid-Ohio just a couple of days ago on the Under 2003 sim. That is going to be crazy with some of the corners that are there for those drivers in the Xfinity type cars to have to try and approach. And of course, Kansas is one of those fuel strategy type races. So going to be some interesting races. And to your point, those new series that we've got there with the Rapid Fire Pizza National Series and the Soda Guys Cup Series, they put on some unbelievable racing last week. Really excited to be on board with those guys and can't wait to see what they bring to the table in terms of racing this week.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope you all, those of you that are left on this broadcast, we hope you join us for that.
So that's going to conclude our coverage here this evening from the Flatout Racing Network Pro Truck Challenge at the Charlotte Roval with Jacob Grant bringing home the checkered flag. Thanks to everybody that tuned into tonight's race. Sam, you need to learn how to intent wreck people.
Whoa. We're not ending the broadcast here, boys. I went back and listened. Okay, I was killed many a times. Okay, I was driving just fine.
Dude, I'm just throwing this out there. Best race of the entire night was the Turtle Fest between you and Robert Kenny at the end of the B-main.
My car was so broke, I wasn't sandbagging. He was just that much faster than I was.
I just kind of, when we were doing the starting of this, I was picturing to myself, we were going to be like, oh, Sam Dyer at the back sandbagging. No, wait, he's not sandbagging. That's just how fast he's running.
No, I was that damaged. I was getting killed by everyone.
So many hopes and dreams, and they all just got crushed.
Hey, I'll say this. I didn't finish last. That was my goal from the start, so I'm happy.
There you go. Goal completed. Hey, you got to start on the pole for one of the events, too.
Oh, for the main event, I started third. I don't think you guys captured it, but I dipped right to the inside, let everyone fly on by.
Smart man. Oh, man. But, yeah, so are we concluding now? You told me we weren't concluding.
Yeah, we can conclude now. It was a
you're
fun
done.
race. It was great.
Okay, you're done yelling at me? Okay, cool. All right, so that's going to conclude the coverage here this evening from the Charlotte Roval. A blast here this evening. Hope everybody else enjoyed it. Again, as Carlos alluded to, we've got some more races that are coming up here to finish out the week. But until then, for Carlos Zimmerman, Matthew Rodriguez, Sam Dyer, and we got Tyler Rickson here too. Say hi, Tyler.
Yo, hello.
Hey,
Just
say bye, Tyler.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time here on another broadcast, courtesy of the Flatout Racing Network. Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, we were really shorting that name.